Hello, my name is Brooks. I'm a brand strategist on the design team at Loom, and here to talk to you about some brand strategy stuff. So as a strategist, I'm really involved in a lot of the earlier kind of foundational bits of the project. So figuring out like why we're doing this in the first place, what does it look like to do it well, and then kind of helping bring to the surface a lot of the like deep-seated, already like deeply held beliefs about who we are as a company and as a product, and making sure that those beliefs get articulated, get understood, and make sure that they're included in the final product. This is basically just a super condensed version of the brief that we were working against for this project. So we wanted to build a system, not just a visual element like a logo or a verbal element like a name or a slogan, but a complete system that really captures who we are. So the value we want to deliver as a product, our character, like our personality coupled with our values and experiences, and then also our vision, like the change we want to have over time and like the effect we want to have on the people who use our product. And we need to express that in a way that is, of course, resonant with the people that it's for. Otherwise, it's fine, but it's more like writing in your journal or your diary. And it's like a really expensive journal entry, which is fine and good, but it's not what we're trying to do. This shape represents kind of a big breakthrough in our process for this rebrand, and it's not very exciting to look at on its own, but it was such a massive like light bulb moment for us when we basically took the actual silhouette of what a loom looks like, which is a little bubble that has someone's face in it and their voice coming from it. And their identity there, their energy, their curiosity. And you have that overlaid against a block that is like the canvas for whatever it is that they're showing you or that they're asking you about or that they're explaining to you. And we realized how much meaning for Loom specifically was layered in this image. And it wasn't about like, okay, cool, this is basically the logo then, I guess. No, it was more just like helping in the early stage of a rebrand. It can be so nebulous and it can be really difficult to feel like you're really building momentum toward decisions that are actually going to stick, that feel specific and that feel reasoned. And this was very helpful as a framing device, as a strategic framework and a conceptual framework for helping us kind of sort ideas and see how they fit against the core value of Loom as expressed in the core product experience. And so for example, like this is kind of stuff we were able to start playing with is like, oh, these shapes can have roles or they can be containers for certain dynamics that need to be expressed in different assets, for example, or different layouts. And then like you can imagine if you take a bunch of the blocks, if you have the bubble and the block and one is acting, one is reacting, or one is ephemeral and one is enduring, for example, because when you put a bunch of the blocks together, that's like the thing that all the bubbles are trying to build and that we're all doing together, and we're moving between them, but the blocks kind of have their own identity that is taking the shape of that the bubbles are seeking to make it take. But basically it became a really helpful kind of starting point for us to kind of frame like, okay, like the user is this like sort of catalytic thing that makes the block make the sound. And anyways, that was like really helpful and became like a litmus test for understanding our storytelling in any given moment and making sure that it's like connected back to the core Loom value and core Loom experience and our character, because this is also what we believe as a company, is that like the best things come from people who are empowered and who are visible and who are have the ability to like show what they need to show and say what they need to say. Then that leads us to our brand promise. So the job of a brand promise, and it's kind of an arbitrary term, and for us, what we wanted a phrase to do, specifically for us, the brand promise, is to be like our highest level of value proposition so that we internally could be on the same page about what that is as we write value propositions for specific features or product launches, or as we're working on like let's say it's an illustration for a blog post. Like we need to know, how does this tie back to the core value proposition of Loom? And this is meant to be really an internal tool. It's not like a slogan or anything. It just helps get us all on the same page. And it was very important to us. So this is our brand promise, bring your work to life. Which for us, it was important that it speaks to the user. So like our mission which is, I think I have over here. Yeah. So this is our mission as a company. And what's different about it that you'll notice is that the active verb, empower, is who's doing the empowering. We, as people who work at Loom, are doing the empowering. Whereas here in the brand promise, who's bringing work to life? It's the user. And again, it's about centering, because it's a value proposition. It needs to be centered on the person enjoying the value, which is the user. And this is an extension of our mission, where we're helping users communicate more effectively. This is a specific kind of, this is bringing a little more color to what it means to communicate effectively with Loom, which is it's not just about saying something. It's not about seeing and being seen. It's about the relationship, again, between the person who is doing work or needs to express or explain something and the work itself. And those two things are not happening in separate channels of information. They're together with Loom. And so this is just like a really helpful tool for us to and this is like just flavor text that I've since deprecated. But yeah, this is just to give you an idea of like kind of how we got to some of the core foundational elements of the brand that we ended up building a lot more of the system on down the road. Hope that's helpful and interesting to you.